Nephos.
Hey. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, Roo. How are you doing? Zeus. I'm ready for these battles. Oh man, me too. Is that Sammy with sunglasses? No, it's not. That looks too neat. Cool cat. Yeah. Let's see. Let's get it launching. Now we need Sammy with sunglasses. Let's see. Got Zeusy with me. Or I did. I did for a moment, and then he left. He's like, nah. Nah, fam. Video games, they're for the birds. How are you doing today, Rue? I hope your day was well. Monday was good. It was pretty chill for a work day. Nothing crazy or wild happened, which is what you hope for in my job. A patient who asked me about my sexuality came in today. Like they didn't ask today, but like one time they came in, they asked about my sexuality. I was like, oh, Pan. You know, I'm just a good old slut. Fucking everyone. Alright, let's also kill the overworld music. Or the Nephos music. Let's get going. I'm excited. Not to brag, but ours is the best one. Feel. Let's see. God damn it, that's right. I gotta teach a useless Mon some HM moves. Hey, Roxy Box, what's up? Let me sorry, I'm having a little chug on my stuff. How is you? Let's see, just try and get my bowl of weed ready. That is a very good point. That is a very, very good point, Rue. So maybe I will need Dweeble. Oh, thank you. And no worries. No, like even Kellyanne said, like, nah, I just like looking for things that may be lost. And like, I think, yeah, no, like, it was just the joy of finding, you know, something that someone's looking for. And the world is a smaller place with places like Discord, you know? So it's super cool, do. Yeah, Rue, you just pointed out we're going to need a Mon to cut down. Yeah, we should try just Swaloon. We don't want to give it to a Pokemon we're actually going to carry for the rest of the trip. Oh wait, I didn't. It's not in my TPC. Hope you're doing good. See, I know I talked about it with you on Discord, but I did end up buying my Thursday tickets. And like, I have a weird feeling that show is going to be a lot emptier than anyone wants it to be, so it's going to be interesting, to say the least. Let's see. Swalloon, Whirlpea, and we can go on without Dwebble. But, you know, Dwebble wouldn't be a bad choice. And, well, and also, well... And to be fair, we still have to, like, take out the trainers. So we don't have to take out the trainers when we take out the gym leader. But we have to take out the trainers, like, all in one go. Oh, wait, I should withdraw. Shit. You understand what I'm saying? Like, we have Drillbird and them when we take on Surge's, like, guys in the gym. But we cannot have them when we go. And let's try teaching it cut. We're playing a ROM hack of... Oh, okay, cool, you can. Of Red, where they put in the Gen 5 Pokemon in the game. Yep. Yep, so... Actually, Tackle. No, I'll just get rid of Tackle, fuck it. It's like either have two, 23. So I shouldn't use my two Pokemon. Yeah, I think we're going to be pretty set. I think we're going to be pretty good, do just fine. Oh, I should bring... I should bring whoever else we need for... Just in case. And welcome, Belle! Hope your day's going well, well, well. We're about to just go and make this guy relive hell. God, I hate that most of my other Pokemon are water types. Just how it all worked out. Alright. So we're also playing on retro achievements and hooked up to those, which means we can earn achievements by doing certain things. So we've been trying to build up a team for later in this game for the Elite Four, which the Elite Four has you like replicating Cheem's team from Black and White. So we gotta get this like Liepard up to like Elite Four ready status, and a couple other like this Tranquil is gonna be used for like a gym leader in a an Elite Four battle. So it's a really cool challenge. It's a real cool challenge with very particular stipulations. We're going to have to take on Blaine with a bunch of fucking ice Pokemon. That's probably the one of the more insane parts of the challenge. Is like, we're going to have to use 3 ice Pokemon to take out Blaine. Sailor wants to fight. Yeah, the ugly sprites make this too. Why do I keep forgetting metal's not good against electricity? I keep thinking it is, but it's not. Drill goes burr. Drill goes burr. I do like that this drill bird's really happy. You just look at the sprite, and it looks like a happy drill burr. He's happy his drill is burring. God damn it, of course I got the fucking poison. God, it got the poison in the first turn, and I'm just got two turn swipes. 3? Oh, cool. We need Drillbur here for like Koga's gym later. Oh, god damn it. Honestly, the hardest part is just keeping everyone alive. We're like just training everyone up. We has just been just having jumped from Pokemon to Pokemon. Finally, we learned Thunder Wave. This Pokemon's not so useless now. Wow, surprised me. I'm a lightweight, but I'm good with electricity. You know, some of the other Pokemon, Joltik got off really easy. Joltik got off really easy compared to some of the other Pokemon in this ROM hack. Dude looks like Android 17. Wait, which one? Oh, you're talking about the trainer. Okay, I see it. Actually, yeah, 110%. I can see Android 17. I got to protect nature. Liepard. Get out there, Liepard. So we gotta turn Titty Cat here into a death machine by the time we get to Elite Four. Which is kind of a tall task. But now we're forced to be up 4. Oh yeah, you haven't seen the sprite. You haven't seen the sprite. No one's seen the sprite yet. Oh, get ready. Titty Cat. Titty Cat here is very particular. Wow, that's weird. It probably just mean they missed. Acid. Fried. Yeah, that's totally Android 17. It wouldn't surprise me, considering like they probably were past the Cell arc by the time this game was made. That's Titty Cat. Just has a weird like tit, just like full one sticking out. Like I get it, maybe the leg like lifting up kind of like, but yeah. And then finally, let's go. When I was in the army, Lieutenant Surge was my strict CO. Because of Lieutenant Surge, we survived the war. The Pokemon Wars. Like, I think it was supposed to be a little bit of little tuft of hair. That's probably what it should have been. Or was, you know, one point planned for. But, yeah, now we just got Titty Cat. And Titty Cat's good at one thing in particular. Fucking stalling. Titty Cat can paralyze non-electric types. And also just throw a bunch of fucking sand in our opponent's eyes. And we got the achievement. Stop! You're very good! The door won't open. Lieutenant Surge was always cautious. Yeah. Okay, so we got the beat all the trainers in the gym achievement. And we were talking about it last stream, but we're going to first just try to take on Surge without getting Dwebble. Just because, like, it would be just quicker if we could. It'd just be a lot quicker if we just take on Surge without going through all the trainers to find Dwebble. Because Dwebble's, like, a little farther up ahead, so it just requires backtracking. Or not backtracking, because we had to fight a bunch of trainers. But we would just have to backtrack to Surge's gym to fight Surge. And that's so fun. Okay, so our next challenge is we can have up to 3 Pokemon that are named, no doubles, Swalloon, Whirlpeed, and Dwebble. Like I said, we're going to try to attempt this without Dwebble. Shark with the all-in-one workout. Alrighty. Welcome, Shark. And a hit for the bowl. Alright, will do. Will do. We're about to get started on the Surge challenge now. Okay, I'll talk. Lieutenant Surge, he hid the door so it's inside something. Doesn't it change? Set double locks. Here's a hint. When you open the first lock, the second lock is right next to it. Oh boy. Fun. Hope your Friday's going well, Shark. God damn it, was it all the way down here? Alright. Hey, that's lame. No! No! You're in the trash there. Well, I'll be sure to wave at you if I see you. Oh my god, I hate this. So stupid. What? But it said it was right next to it last time. What the fuck does that, like, I have a, that's not fair at all. Alright, so it's this one. What? Bruh. I don't understand. Like, it wasn't... Okay, so it has to be up, right? It could be any adjacent can. That is fucking stupid. That is so stupid. I have a 50% chance of failing this because it's random. I think each face of the can counts. Alright, this one. Thank you. That is so stupid. That was so stupid. Zeus? Susie. Oh, that's so stupid. I just heard him like they do, they call Chef Boyardee. Damn. Get schooled, shark. Alright, let's just go. Hey kid, what do you think you're doing here? You won't live long in combat! That's for sure. I'll tell you kid, electric Pokemon saved me during the war. They zapped my enemies into paralysis. The same as I'll do to you. Kid, I like committing war crimes, and I'm going to commit some more. I know, like, yeah, like in the first game, we get told that there's a Pokemon war. And it's pretty hardcore. And a lot of people are actually hoping that the next Pokemon Legends game is going to talk about the war a little bit more. Oh god, why does it have an X speed? He's gonna surge a Drig. Also, very much. Welcome. So we can't be past level 23. We have to use these 3 Pokemon, and we can't use items during battles. That's the other. Oh, hey, Shark called it. Let's try Leech Life. God, why do you need more? Why do you need to make its speed even faster? You can only make quick attacks so quick. Alright, we just gotta survive one last hit. Yeah! Swalloon! Let's go! Try and learn Razor Leaf. Oh, just when we're about to get rid of him. Yeah, Zebra Strike. Oh my! Oh, okay. Well, okay, okay. Okay, this sprite, I have a lot of questions. Oh yeah, Harden we're keeping for this mod. But though I think this is the last fight with it. Just look at those legs! Look at those legs! What horse has legs like that? Like, I get they were, like, going over the Rapidash. Like, they should, well, they probably were like, fuck, the Rapidash sprite is too particular. Alright, yeah, let's just get into a ball. Raise our defense up. Screech. Just try to Screech. Wait a second, I just realized I don't have those. Oh, guys. I forgot to set it in set battle. I forgot to set it in set battle. I totally forgot to set it in set battle. Oh, that's the final requirement of it. So, in case you didn't know, Pokemon has a... The next battle is not going to go your way. Shut up, Shark. Shut up, Shark. Maybe we won't get poisoned. Just cheat. Just go get the Dwebble. There we go. Okay. So that's how I realized I didn't have the achievement set. Thank you, Shark. Harden. And Harden. Cut. No, we missed. We gotta outspeed this very defensive type Pokemon. This fucking rock is outspeeding us. How dare it? Oh my god. I cannot believe we did not get poisoned during that whole thing. That's incredible. He's probably going using XP now? Oh no, no! Okay, Alright. Razor Leaf. Get rid of poison or absorb. Yeah, I totally forgot about setting this up in the proper mode. Yeah! Surge thinking this is going... XP is what saved me during the war. We used to call it meth back in the day. But now we have to, like, call it by this name. Crit, crit? Okay. Wow, you know what? You know what? I'll take it. Sparkles. The doors are harder. And Rugs challenge. Whoa, you're the real deal, kid. Fine then, take the Thunder Badge. The Thunder Badge cranks up your Pokemon speed. It also lets your Pokemon fly anytime, kid. You're special, kid. Take this. Teach it to electric Pokemon. Alrighty, so yeah. And that's basically our challenge going through this game. Is trying to complete... Oh wait, also. You have the Thunder Badge. You must be a good trainer. I just caught a Pokemon that was always getting into mischief. Would you like to take good care of it? Wow, my rival will learn how it feels. Tegpie. Tegpig. So yeah, now we got the other starter. Which unfortunately we will not use. Instead, we have to use the third starter. And we can't even use our original starter. Like, for the challenges. We could for in-between challenges, but we're trying to, like, level up so many Mons for so many different points in this game. We'll keep Swalloon till we get to the caves. Bye, Whirlpeed. I hate that we are going to use Whirlpeed in battle ever again, it feels. Drillbur we take with us. Liepard. Like I said, Liepard's... We gotta drag all the way to the fucking Elite Four. Tranquil. We also need to grab Pampor too. Alright, that's fine. Who we have? Yeah, so we'll just take a Swallow until we get to where we need to go. Actually, I should bring my Zebra. Because he's required for Erica's gym. And Erica's gym only allows 2 Pokemon in that one, so we're going to need both. I just heard them hissing at each other. Temple, we're gonna need later. Drillbur. That's Pampor for now. We'll bring Pampor out before the caves. And the funny thing is, like, the cats just hiss. I think the cats just hiss at each other. And, like, I'll just change out their food. Like, they didn't touch it all day, it looked like, so swished it out. And I don't think they heard it. So they probably think it's still the old food. Alright. Actually going to, after this battle, we're going to take just a quick break. I'm going to redeem Shark's thing real quick. And make sure they're okay. Make sure everything's okay. Alright, just be right back. Won't be too long.
Nethos.
Hoo-wee. Thank you, Shark. Much, much appreciated. Hope everyone's Friday is going well, or Saturday morning, in some people's cases. That's what I like about the internet. You just meet people in all different time zones, and I just find that super cool. Let's see, go back here. Yep, okay, just wanted to make sure this looked all right. Whew, let's go. Thank you, Shark, for that redeem. Got my blood pumping. Got me ready for more Pokemon battles. Oh yeah, we gotta look. There's a Pokemon she wants, but we'll worry about that Pokemon later. Because I'd rather have a better Pokeball chance. Or capture rate. Shark, you asked me like a while back, like, do I feel anything with like the workouts and what? Oh, we gotta go heal. With me working out and whatnot. Well, actually, we don't even need to. Now I think about it. Wait, we don't even have cut. Shit. Or flash. I'm not doing that cave without flash. I haven't done it in years. Maybe we give it to Swalloon. Maybe Swalloon can learn Flash as well. Get our little tadpole up training. Drill goes burr. Drill goes burr. I do just remembered we need that Pokemon right there. Excuse me. Just trying, you know, not to kill it. Oh, that's fine. Quick attack. What? Oh, come on. Tranquil's not that strong. Wing attack. Drillbur and Drillbur. Alright, let's just run. I'm not doing that fight. I will Or we put Lipar away for now. That's who we did. That's fine. Sandil. We're going to need Sandil for Koga's gym. Or not Sandil, but Crocodile. And like, what sucks about like this like ROM hack, I guess, is just the abilities that would help some Pokemon a lot is just gone. So Drillbur here doesn't have any of his like speed hacks. That Crocodile won't have Intimidate when or Moxie when it gets fully evolved. Desert Croc. They live buried in the sand. The sun warm prevents their body temperature from being dropping. We'll just heal up in Putrid City. I went to the Rock Tunnel, but it's dark and scary. If a Pokemon could flash and light it up. Yeah, what if? And this ROM hack, achievement-wise, just focuses more on what is it called? Just like the gym battle challenges. Hi, remember me? I'm Professor Oak's aide. If you caught 10 kinds of Pokemon, I'm supposed to give you an HM5. Yes. Gotcha, gotcha. Dungeons. I like how they refer to as dungeons. Oh, fuck me. Yeah, this is going to be a recurring theme. Oh, I forgot to put up the SS ticket. Damn it. Thunderbolt. I don't want to teach it to the Pokemon that's going to learn Thunderbolt. Shit. Yeah, we'll just come back for it real quick. Both of them, I guess. Okay, let's go dump some items. We should probably go ahead and just sell off Bide. I'm not going to use Bide. Do we need Old Rod for anything in particular? Or could I just go ahead and put that up since we'll get good Rod anyways later? I guess no one really knows now I say that out loud, because I'm the first one playing this here. Let's see. Let's deposit. Deposit the Moonstone. The ticket. X special, I guess. I don't know. Like, I'm going to use that either. Gotta put up cut. Just go ahead. Take both escape ropes, whatever. We're probably gonna need those for like later dungeons. Yeah, I'm probably better off selling this Bide. Yeah, let's just sell that. The Pokemart here. Alright, inventory is a little bit... I should just go ahead and put the max potions and stuff up. I should do that too, because I'm not going to use those until the Elite Four at this point. I'm going to save all those items for when we have to go through the Elite Four trials. And decays. Max Ether. Max potion. Alright. It is funny just to go back to this inventory space. And to think, like, back in the day we did this all the time. Or manage resources like this all the time. This is a stretch already. Oh. Oh, hey. Who are you? Yeah. It's all organized, neat. We're going to save you for later because I'm pretty sure you're a legendary that I can't. I can't even go, like, can't even really use at the moment. Or I could, I guess. HP up. So another thing we're doing is, like, anytime we get items like the HP up, we're just dumping them into a Lipard. So any calcium, protein, what have you, we're dumping into Lipard. Lipard's going to just be the Pokemon full of drugs. Yeah. I wish it would tell me how many Pokemon I have in this box. Because I know I'm probably getting close, right? Withdraw, Lipard. We're just going to use this item real quick. Is Lipard on my team? Oh my god. Oh. I was like, what do you mean it won't have any effect? It's an HP up. Alright. You have 99 pieces of ham. Wait, why? How? When? Who? Inviolate? Oh, okay. I totally even forgot about all the food stuff in Violet. Like, I still haven't played that one. I keep forgetting I haven't played that generation, technically. I mean, at all. It's all right. Yes. Oh, we're making Swalloon. I'm sorry, Swalloon. You're the HM slut. It's... One day I'll get around to it. Not anytime soon. And from... Pokemon can't fight, but it can still use moves like Cut. I'm looking for Moana. I want to trade it for my Victini. No, keep your stupid, ugly, useless Victini away from me. How dare you offer me a Pokemon I can easily find in caves. Alright, let's go make that trade before I forget all about that kid. You have to camp to get the eggs. Didn't you also have to like camp and wait around in X and Y? Or not X and Y, Sword and Shield? I could be misremembering. Sword and Shield, it's been so long. Okay. No? Okay. I guess, yeah, you just have to run around for like, what, 2-3 minutes? Oh, the day carrots, that's right. Totally forgot about the fucking day carrots. What a... Oh. It sometimes really does feel like Pokemon can't make up their minds with what systems they like and stick with. Alright, let's go rip this kid off.
So homie, don't panic. Tightest pussy on the planet. I could drop it low, and when I'm done, I'm gonna make a ham sandwich.
Yeah. Yeah, like you have to camp, make a sandwich to boost eggs, and then check on the basket every now and then. Oh, okay, that's dumb. That is dumb. And a lot more inconvenient than the daycare. I totally forgot how fucking stupid it looks. I totally forgot how stupid it looks. Oh my god. Look at this motherfucker. Look at it. This is like if you asked me to draw Victini. Like, this is just what I would do. And what makes like some of the like legendaries in this game even more broken is just because we got them in trades, they get leveled up quicker, right? So you're just like running around with like a fucking monsters like this guy. Draw Victini from memory. This is exactly what I would draw. Like, oh, I can't get over it. I totally forgot all about this fucking sprite. Honestly, I should make this emote. What do you mean? This is if you asked me to draw Victini from memory. EK, welcome. You know, isn't this what you would... Biblically accurate Victini is perfect. You know, this isn't what... This may not look like physically appealing, but this is what peak perfection looks like. This is what peak of power is. You may not like the look of it, but it took a lot of hard work, dedication, and sacrifice of looks to get here. Now that sounds honestly, that sounds like a great game that everyone would win except you and me. Rue would get a good time just like scolding us both. There we go. Rue just has to read his Pokemon descriptions, and we have to try to think of who it is and draw it from memory. I actually like that game a lot. Welcome. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm unpacking another bowl right now. Getting more weed ready. Yeah, no, that sounds like a great idea we should do. Because it's just going to be terrible, but it's going to be great. Also, I gave a shout out to EK Standing. So, variety streamer, typical person who likes doing dumb ideas like this, and also is doing the Sims 4 Barbie challenge, keeping the Barbie generations going. Been playing Zelda Ocarina of Time vanilla, well, vanilla story, but with like life improvements, upgrades. I mean, Rue, just make a list of 30 Pokemon, and then you just have to pick from that, and we'll roll with it until the idea is too dead. You gotta pick them from all the generations, which will mean, like, I'm especially fucked when it comes to the new shit. Where did I get? We got it from a trade. You know, a wonderful trade. I know, right? It's the best sprite. It's the only sprite that matters. Honestly, I may. What's the back sprite look like? Okay, you know what? Before we put him up for good, we'll look at the back sprite of Victini. Let's go down here and check it out. I honestly kind of want Victini just to be like immortalized as an emote, just going. Oh, I got Mew's sound, which makes sense. Okay. Okay, this isn't nearly as terrible as it could be. Group Victini tattoos. I want, yeah, we're going to go up to that one lady in Boston who's been doing the Pokédex, like tattooing like a Pokemon everyone. Boston. And get her to get us, you know, I'm pretty sure Victini on the list somewhere. Blitzel, we're gonna need Blitzel for the next gym. You're going to Boston! Shark, are you gonna have some clam chowder? Chowder! Alright, I also gotta check what level Blitzel can't get over for Erica's gym. 29, okay, so we got a long way to go. We got a long way to go before we get Blistle to where we need it to be. Which is a whole other Pokemon. we need it to evolve. Boston broke your heart, to be honest. Oh no! How did Boston break your heart? Was it the donuts? Was it the Boston Red Sox? Was it PAX East? I'll be dining out if that's what you're asking. Are you gonna have some clam chowder? Chowder? I'm just insulting every single Boston person. I littered some tea bags into the water. It was awesome. I wonder if that's a thing that people just do. As you're right, as an American, just start tossing tea into the fucking sea. Fun facts: every American can throw tea into the sea. If you're American and you haven't tried this yet, go try it. Also, lots of donuts. Ooh. Also, I'm about to try some permanent marker. Okay. That's good. Yeah, that's what this is called. Permanent marker. Gassy. Stout. Yo, if you huff the permanent marker so much, you get high. You know what? Today we actually were talking about that with the patient. And they were like, yeah, but we all know you don't get high from that. It just shuts off your brain cells. Or it just like stops air from going to your brain. Oh, silly us. Ha ha ha. We all had a good laugh. I don't think the dealer has ever once told me the names of any of my buds. I mean, that's kind of how I was for a long time getting my stuff. It's just like, whatever. Just give it to me. But, you know, being in the industry, I have to know this stuff. If you caught 30 kinds of Pokemon, it's supposed to give you an item finder. Yes. And we're going to put this thing in the fucking... We're going to put this thing away. See, that was the issue I was running into. I feel like I know the one guy I was getting from for years was just making up names. Like, at one point, he was like, I called this bud Larry. Larry. Yes. It's Larry. Why Larry? It just looked like a Larry. Alright. I'll take a quarter. I will say that guy actually did have some different bud sometimes, so actually we don't need to be here. Larry David. It's a really potent strain. I remember it was being good. Just goofy. And then, like, I feel like every other strain was called Skywalker, or someone claimed you actually have Skywalker, which, whatever. I call this bud Paul Blart Mall Cop. That's good. That's good. I mean, in my place, there's a bud that hasn't come out called Metaverse. And the only reason it hasn't come out yet is just because, like, it has failed testing and, like, just hasn't yielded well in, like, anything else they've done with it. But, yeah, no, like, I mean, we also have another bud called Powerpuff Girl. Can't believe that weed is so dangerous it can't be sold. It's less dangerous and more like it's more of like they detected mold or like some other stuff that could get into the bud before being sold. And this here is Frankenfunk. Basically. So, okay, so one of the... I can dish this dirt out because I don't work for them anymore. But Trueleaf tends to rename a lot of things. And I was actually sitting in on one of the days they were renaming a jet fuel strand. So... That's all they had. They had like, okay, one of its lineage is jet fuel. So they were just putting a bunch of names onto a Google Doc. And they were just trying different names, you know, just, oh, come on, get this, Supersonic. Alright, we're just switching. So they were just trying to come up with a name. Just anything cool or anything that would work. Someone said jet fuel can't melt steel beams. And they were like, there's no way this is work. There's no way this is going to stay on this list. Like, a lot of other names they put on has been, like, removed immediately. So they put that on, and it stayed there for like a good, like, 10 minutes. Ultimately, that wasn't the name of the strand. It got named to, like, Gelato Jet Fuel or something along those lines. But, yeah, for a moment, they were about to come out with jet fuel can't melt steel beams, weed. And that was going to be some hilarious shit. How do you identify like a bad weed product? So there's third-party testing facilities in our area where they will test for different things. They'll test for like mold, they'll test for like any bacteria, because in our state it's supposed to be a medical, so it goes through a medical process being tested. But what happens is there's only one testing facility. And a lot of, like, 8 grows, I think, now. Or 9, maybe, in my state. And what is happening is sometimes is the weed is just sitting in places too long. And isn't being, like, checked on or burped enough that the humidity or any moisture that's in there is escaping. So that's how you get mold on weed sometimes, is by letting it sit in a place for a very, very long time. God, I still remember... I remember walking into that old company's place, and oh god, I still have the other... I still am set mode. And they just had a giant fucking closet full of bags and bags of weed. Like, or not just bags, but totes. Like, just weed, all that, in theory, could be sold. But it was just all in bags and, like, waiting for God knows who, whatever. I know that place would eventually just take their weed, like, take weed like that and just turn into concentrates, or, like, mash them together into ground, which... they give, like, dumb names to. Ivysaur! Who is our starter? So, we actually... well, we went with, God, Swalot? Or... the Samurai Yacht. We went with Samurai Yacht. But... we had a... because of the challenges, Oshawott. No, actually, this is a ROM hack. Where we had the Gen 5 starter, or Gen 5 Pokemon, and Gen 1. So, and we're also doing another challenge on top of this, where we're trying to get certain achievements on RetroArch. Or, Retro Achievements. And unfortunately, it does not call for our starter, or a starter, until we get our third starter. But that's all fine, because we gotta train so many other Pokemon for this challenge and get ready for the Elite Four. Oh boy, we got like that life part we have. We're taking it all the way to the Elite Four. We gotta get our little zebra here ready for the next gym. Because it'll just be him and Erica, or him and a Joltik taking on Erica, which is going to be goofy. Fight me, nerd. Wahaha, great. I was bored, eh? Oh, and you're Canadian. See? Okay. Leak. Pokemon. Pokemon Gen 10 takes place in Canada. You heard it here first. Go spread it like wildfire. You like how rhymes sorry with story? Sorry with story? Yeah, that is very Canadian. Sorry. Sorry. Nonsense. Steve Miller's Take the Money and Run has a wishier, washier. Oh, goddamn, I keep forgetting Switch. Bass or rhyme scheme has been spoken. What's the judge going to do with all of them taxes? Pokemon and Mr. Mime only from Canada. Yeah, Dweeble didn't get screwed over like others did. I like how, speaking of, you just talk about Jack of Diane, and I just think about that one song. Out in the Tasty Freeze, sucking on some chili dogs. Dun, 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 dun. Isn't there, I think my coworker was just telling me there's a meme now where someone is just singing that song, but it's just singing, sucking on a chili dog. Sucking on a chili dog. Dun 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 dun. I need to get my hands on that. See me, Zeusy. Also, I gotta switch out set battle. Those two kids trying the best they can. God damn it, now that song's really going to be stuck in my fucking head. Sucking on chili dog in front of the Tasty Freeze. Liepard. Feint attack. Well, that would be your actual stab move. Do we have... Funny enough... funny enough, we shouldn't. Well, maybe, Body Slam is better than Feint Attack. Am I right? Am I crazy? Like, Feint Attack would be a stab. But I think Body Slam just is, like, better overall. You don't know the numbers. Fair. Yeah, we're all kind of just, like, taking wild stabs. We're not sure if they're using which gen's stat. Well, Well, we know this is before the special split, so they're all sharing one special stat. Yeah, I think keeping the body slam will probably be the better move. We're kind of... I feel like we'll find other cool dark moves too. Feint attack only useful in competitive. Fair. Yeah, I feel like casual, we're just like taking a lot of liberties. Zeusy? Zeus? He has like crazy demon eyes. I looked back and then I just saw a giant glare back. So he's doing fine. I got up early every day to raise my Pokemon from cocoons. Nerd. Bugcatcher wants to fight. World P. So, well, in this ROM hack, they did ROM hack in or hack in dark types and metal types. So it wouldn't surprise me if like they did the typing. Yeah, because I know Bite. Ooh, damn. Whew. Drill burr. Drill goes burr. Come on. No. Oh, okay. Yeah, drill goes burr. Drill goes burr. Plus one imposter. Look what they did to Ghastly. Oh. Ooh. Oh, I keep forgetting switch modes. Ah. Rip. And all in one workout routine already. Hey, Zeusy. Zeus. Try and get him up on the chair, but he just refuses. There you are. Let's see. It's been a minute since I got Zeus on stream. Zeusy. You want to stay? Nope. Nope. It's like, I don't need you. Jerk. Well, jerk. Alright. Oh. Need to get this all straightened out. My bad. Alright, let it slow catch up, I guess. What? What a total waste of time! Fucking hate these stupid Cocoon Pokemon. I have to collect more than bugs to get stronger. Damn it. What's over here real quick? Ooh, that got me really good. Ooh. Also, that reminds me. Shift. So that's another thing is when we go into the gym leader fights, we have to play in set mode, which just forces us to you know, keep the Pokemon we sent out first out there. So it's just been forcing us to play the game in a different way that I've never played, and using Pokemon that I definitely would have not used. I've played Unova Red like years ago, or not like years ago, but like 2 years ago. And I definitely remember getting that Victini and going like, well, this just got easy. So I'm happy with this like set of challenges, and that they have like a theme of like using other gym leaders. My bugs! You squashed them! I'm taking Rock Tunnel to go to Lavender. And Shark, I'll drink water once I go and get the routine done. Pat Rat. Body Slam them all. Alrighty, Shark. Thank you for vibing with us. Much, much appreciated. And before you head out, I'm gonna give Shark. If you haven't already, Shark streams. Shark's been streaming Kingdom Hearts. Played the most efficient, best way possible on the Nintendo Switch. Through the cloud. So if you want to see Shark beating that game on the hardest difficulty, go follow Shark. Yeah, if you want to watch Shark play Kingdom Hearts on critical mode over cloud, divided by 352 days, Dewey Decibel, give Shark a follow. Oh, I was not paying attention. Shit. Yeah, just switch back. I will warn you, Shark's already playing the best game in the series, so it's all downhill once this game's over. True BBS is real bad. I wish I can describe why I don't like Birth by Sleep. Like it feels like a game I really wanted to love, and yet every time I tried to get into it, just couldn't. It's mainly mainly I get stuck, just hung up on the battle system. I feel like. We'll talk about it more when you get to it, but like, yeah, that's such a weird game. Jilbur. My waveforms look like security lasers, or maybe I'm high. I think it's both. I think it's both. I think it's a combination. Every time I talk, it's just that scene from Resident Evil 4. Still one of the most like out of place scenes in video game histories. Me too. It took years for me to kind of like love RE4's campiness and appreciate it, but especially when you compare it to the rest of the series, like you just really tend to love it, or at least I appreciate the hell of it. All right, let's see. Yeah, let's go heal. Let's just go back and heal real quick. I haven't played any of the newer stuff for RE4 yet. Or, yeah, I haven't touched the... God, I keep forgetting there's a remake of RE4. And there's been like... yeah, I keep forgetting there's been just like a ton of remakes of that series. And it's like, I never even played the original ones. You know? Tomorrow I gotta remember to set my alarm clock early to go to PetSmart and get Zeus and Sammy more toys. That's what I really need to do tomorrow, is get them more toys. Probably stop at the bank, drop off money, get more toys, then go to work. Alright. Let's go ahead and actually take a small break. I'm going to redeem Shark's workout and give me more water. I have soda, but that's not helping my throat right now. So let's take a quick break. Be back in like 2-3 minutes. Use this time to check, you know, on your pets. I know I'm going to check on Zeus, make sure he's alright. Use the bathroom, all that fun jazz. BRB, y'all. Alrighty. Whew. I'm back. Sorry about that. Did my push-ups and sit-ups. Put catnip all over one of Zeus's toys to hopefully convince him to chill. Or to cool it. Cool it, Zeus. Ugh. You know what's a game that I like remember playing younger and didn't realize kind of how weird of a big deal it kind of was at the time? I mean, nobody really considered it a huge deal. But maybe just like now it's a very interesting footnote in history. Operation Winback. A Koei Tecmo game. Originally released on the N64, then got a port to the PS2 the following year. Belleville with the thank you. Shark did, and I will. I really like this. This tastes good. This permanent marker tastes good. You know, this is why I have this warnings all over my streams. And the streamer is eating permanent markers. Beware. The streamer has 2 Sharpies up their noses at all times. Proceed with caution. You know, classic. You know, classic. You know, just black. You can't go wrong with, you know, your what you know and what you're familiar with. Back to the roots, they say. I don't know who they are, but that's what they say. I like perp. I do. Fine. I like why? Okay, I know it's not Sharpie. I'm associating colors, or like flavors. It's God, Crayola. Crayola had the flavored markers. My cat's is going bananas. I'm headed to bed, y'all. Have a good rest of your stream. Thank you so much, Rue, for hanging and vibing with us tonight. Much appreciated. Have yourself a wonderful rest of your night. Hiker wants to fight. Let's go. Granola. Alright. Just spam Bubble Beam. Let's just go and just be an idiot and lose. Let's see. Drillbur. Get the fairy swipes. Yes, going. But no, so marker flavors. You know what Prey didn't help kids like try to like get high off of markers was probably making them smell good. Because Crayola, I remember my age group, there was just like flavored colored Crayola you can like get, you know, where like each color had a scent. Red was cherry, grape was purple, or purple was grape, so on and so forth. And like every time I think of a purple Sharpie, I associate it with like grape. And I know that's not Sharpie's doing. That's not the Sharpie company's fault. Temple, Mudshot. Alright, we'll look at Mudshot. I mean, yeah, it's better than Bubble. What am I saying? Get the fuck out of your bubble. And Dwibble. Was that the Slowpoke? I don't know. What's that? Get bodied, nerd. Don't you dare condescend me. Alright. Machino! If it was a contest of cute, Machino, Ferret, or Furret, I'm sorry, and Passe Richu would be all Ubers. But we don't live in that world. So, poor boy over there is the lowest of low tiers, I'm pretty sure. Just like one of those cute early mons you get. No, you're too much. And hey, we made it. Yeah, let's go, everyone. I sold a useless nugget for 5,000. Boop, 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 boop. Alright, good thing in this, like, achievement set we do not have to fight every trainer. Or it's not required to, like, fight every trainer, I should say. Like, I'd rather fight trainers, but, like, I don't want to, like, walk all the way around just to fight that one rock trainer. And then have to run all the way back to the other city. Yeah, you lost. Blitzel. Oh, and it's a double Blitzel battle. Switch. Drillbur, get out there. Alright, Fury Swipe. Yeah. Not yeah. Drill goes burr. Drill goes burr. Actually, we will go back to Blitzel. So it's not really Blitzel we need. We need Blitzel's Zebra Strike form, or evolution, to take on... Oh god, and that's our crit? That was our crit? Okay, maybe... Okay, we can push through this. But we need his evolution, essentially, to beat the next gym. Alright, I also need to look at Joltik before we head out. No, I blew it again! Let's look for Joltik. Oh, we're right on top of it. It's either in the cave or in these bushes over here. Either way, it looks like we're just going to be catching some Pokemon for a bit. And the only requirements we need to think about with training those two is we gotta keep them under level 29. I don't know what level Joltik evolves, but we're not letting it evolve. Which is gonna be goofy. So it's gonna be a matter of me remembering to hit cancel, because you can't take both into battle. Alright. And also to speed up, these little wild encounters, if they're not in consequential, we are just skipping by them. Just to save time. Like when it's stuff like this where we don't have the Timburr or Timburr. It's going down. I'm yelling, Timburr. You better move. You better dance. Let's make the night. Want to remember? You better move. You better dance. Well, I know that song, or at least I know those opening words very, very well. Aw, really? Alrighty. We got the Pokeball. $32 out of our 156. Hey! Look at that motherfucker. Get over here. We're putting you're gonna be a fighter now. Joltik. Oh, come on. Oh, you're on. Don't kill. Don't do this to Blitzel. You guys have to be friends for the next like 10 levels. Attaching. Attaches itself to a body of larger Pokemon and absorbs static electricity to consume. No. Okay, so that's kind of, I guess, how that plays out. Interesting. Joltik's attached to the giant evolution form. That's cool. Makes sense. See, we're gonna keep Typold because we need a Semi-Toad by the time we get to Koga. We need an Unpheasant by the time we get to Sabrina. We need a Exit Drill by the time we get to Koga. Swelloons has Flash. Lepard. Okay, Lepard. Not till Elite Four. So, there we go. And that's, I guess, the other challenge with this game, or with this challenge set we're going with, is just like, not only do I have to think about like, what Pokemon do I need for each gym trainer, but like, how can I do that in a way that's not just me running back and forth grinding, you know? Alright. Yeah, I haven't... Oh yeah, I forgot to put up Flash and whatnot. We'd be fine. Oh, of course I didn't. Of course, I keep forgetting this generation doesn't also heal Pokemon that you got in battle. So, like, if you catch them near death, you have them near death until you heal your team. what type of trainer it looks like. It looks like maybe a fire type. I know we have some pyro guys in here. Pokemon fight. Ready? Go! Oh, scientist. Oh, Pokemaniac wants to fight. Hey, you made the right call though. Supersonic Epidocious. Let's see, get Bubble Beam going. Just cut right through those defenses. You know what? Keep on getting your physical defense up, Golett. You're doing great. Elegim. Oh, this. What sound was that? Was that Executes? Exitors? Yeah, that must have been. I guess that's the other funny thing is them reusing Gen 1 Pokemon sounds. Then it's just like, you know, you don't think about it until you hear it and you're like, oh yeah, that's Caterpie. Oh yeah, that's Pikachu. Okay, maybe this is going to be a little bit harder of a cave than I anticipated. Metal Claw. Oh god. Let's just scratch. Just finish them off. Thank you. Game over. Yeah, and it's gonna be a war of attrition. We're just gonna have to just like go through. I should have bought items. I guess I could still. Oh, Dwebble. Pull items. I don't know if we need Dwebble. But I mean, we do need Dwebble for the Pokédex, so I'll at least grab him for that. Pokeball. Rock in. When it finds a suitable stone, it secretes a corrosive liquid to make a hole to crawl into. Nah. You know what? Joltik, you got this. Oh, fuck. Actually, we'll just switch around. Just realized that's the Machop sound. Tranquil. Wing attack. Alright. Alrighty. You have a wonderful night and a weekend too, Belle. Thank you so much for vibing and chilling with me. Much appreciated, as always. Alright, definitely switching. Thank you. Leer. Don't you dare double slap me. Come on. Rude. Thank goodness none of the confusion has, like, hit us yet. God damn it. No. Okay. I'm exhausted. You know, dressing up as a Pokemaniac would not be that hard for Halloween. This is your reminder to start thinking about Halloween. If you haven't thought about Halloween yet, you should start thinking about your costume now. And get ready to shock and spook and stun those around you with your incredibly good costume that you planned ahead for. It's falling down, and I'm yelling timber. I'll bide, okay. Well, we'll just do this till you're done. There we go. That's always the fun thing to do when with bide in this move. Doable. What am I doing? Actually, I don't really have anyone too good. What am I doing? Just run. I remember like my first like couple times running through this cave as a kid. And like I felt like I was just lost in here. It felt so huge. Like, it just felt like an extremely bigger place than, you know, what it is in retrospect. You know, it's very small, especially compared to, like, the later dungeons. But at the time, I just remember just, like, it feeling just huge. And just, like almost as if I was kind of in over my head in a weird way. And now I'm just like probably like just condensing all those memories into just like a singular point of going through this game. Snivy, actually we'll stay because we're not doing so hot. Oh wow, okay. That's the Geodude. No, yeah, that's Geodude, not Machamp. Do you know about costume players? Wow. You know, I didn't realize Pokemon had a thing, it had a, like a reference to cosplayers. That's interesting. Oh god, no matter who I send out, this is gonna be a bad time. Oh. I don't know, try to get the thunder wave off. Yes. Screech. Screech. You did good. You did good, Joltik. You did everything you needed to do. Golett. Yes, Walloon. has Razor Blade. That we do need to head back. Pokemaniac. Well, that's that. Let's see. Oh yeah, let's head back. Yeah, we're about to be out of Pokemans, so let's head back. Let's also save. Heal everyone up. And probably just like double, triple our speed way through back to where we were. I want to see. I mean, it's effective at least. Joe Bird does need some levels. Just run. No worries. So might as well just speed our way through here. So we're trying also, like, with us going through the challenge at this point, one of the cool benefits is actually we're going to be able just to fill out the Pokédex along the way with different types of Pokemon because we need for each gym a counter. The only like one gym encounter that doesn't really apply to is going to be Giovanni's gym. It just requires a Haxorus, the other dragon Pokemon of that this gen, and Haxorus, Fracturus, I think, or whoever. That Pokemon is going to be there, or it can be there. So we could just use Haxorus and the other dragon, and hopefully that could work, but we'll see. Man, we're getting Woobats all of a sudden. Which we're going to need a Swoobat later. So that's what, but I figured we can catch one later and train that. I already caught the Dwebble. Just take out that Dwebble real quick. Just run away here. Hey! A Scraggy. I did not know you were here, buddy. You're a dark type, right? Oh, I just probably killed it. Oh! Oh no! God. Oh, Gen 1, you fucking kill me. Our Pokebox is full. Oh, I had no previous warning until that. Oh, man. It is what it is. Me and Ruru actually talked about it earlier in stream, and like how that's going to happen at some point. It's just hard to gauge when. Let's go take care of that now. Before I get to like Lavender Town and start doing other shit. Yeah. Get Ty pulled. Or Tim pulled up. Timpod. Up. Give me a second. Try killing a bug that was like been flying around. Oh yeah, like taking on like all these other Pokemon just help us. Yeah, save. Let me just double check something. Okay, so if there's a ball, or if there's a ball next to it, it means it's full. Okay. So that's what that, okay. I was wondering if that's what that meant, but didn't check anywhere until that happened, so it happens. Alright, let's continue on. Everyone's fully healed, the box has changed. We have sent blinding light. We're going to use our bicycle. You got a ton of Woobats all of a sudden. Let's see. I'll just run. I'm just more concerned about getting to the next trainer stuff. And that's Scraggly. If we have if we find Dwebbles to bully, sure. Sandile. I mean, I'm like conflicted on like, I'm glad this challenge is making me play with Pokemon that I would never use. But it is a weird feeling of playing a Pokemon game not using Pokemon you want to play. Maybe that's just me, and like I didn't, and I personally didn't play the Coliseum games or Gale DX like a lot of people did. So I'm just like, I don't know. I know you eventually can, you know, get the teams and Pokemon you want over time in those games. But, you know, you're forced to use like certain sets or like certain Pokemon that you just like typically wouldn't run into. Or maybe like, I don't know, I guess it's just how I play. And I know as a kid, I was like a very like low, like, oh god, I still remember the first couple playthroughs, I named my character just, like I couldn't comprehend that it was saying name. What's your name? You know, name. I just put, Oh my god. Oh well, it's another Dwebble to bully. My Pokemon techniques will leave you crying. They'll leave tears all over the floor. That Onyx sound effect is funny coming out of that monster. That little butthole monster. I give, you're a better technician. Hit me with your best shot. Finish on Dr. Pepper up. Hit the Supersonic. And Bubble Beam. Yeah. Aw, boo. Triple boo. And I would just like to thank everyone for vibing and chilling. Even if you're just lurking and hanging out in the background, I'm glad to be back here vibing. Much appreciated. It's cool just to like show off neat, weird things and projects like this. Oh, why did I send out why did I send out my bird? Oh, just keep doing Leer. We'll just do 4 layers of Leer and then switch. Yeah, we'll switch to Tempod again, or Temple. Well, I guess I did target, and that's special defense. Ooh, excuse me. Hiker. Fired away! Answer. Nope. This tunnel goes a long way, kid. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. I got a lot of Pokemon I gotta train, honestly, so more the merrier. Everyone made fun of this little Tempold, but now it's getting its revenge. Wiping out teams with a single blow. Okay, maybe not. It's close though. Ragnaroll, yeah, let's try Drillbur. Get out the Drillbur. Drill goes burr. Drill goes burr. I do love Drillbur's back sprite, just because he looks so fucking happy with his little cute eyes there. His little cute, like, I'm happy eyes is just adorable. Duh, you win. I didn't bring any potions and I'll put them all up. Alright, that's fine. We'll put Drillbur in front. Hope you all have a good weekend. I forget it's gonna be a long weekend, even though like I have Mondays off already. So if anything, my Monday is just gonna be just full of normal people trying like doing shit. Well, if anything, I can't even do a lot of my normal shit on Monday, like laundry and food or grocery shopping. Good thing I did some grocery shopping today, actually. I need to do a little bit more tomorrow. Durant. 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 Oh boy. Oh shit, it's a steal, not a... Pitzel? Oh no, it's still my stat. It's still my strat. Nerd. Oh. Oh no. Oh, this is bad. The only thing I have going for me is like I paralyzed it. Oh, let's go. Yeah, actually, let's try our Birdo. Wing attack. Oh, really? I thought it's part bug. Oh, well, it worked enough. Oh, fuck me. Wing attack. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, this is gonna go bad. This is not gonna go my way. Maybe. Oh. Just try and get a third layer of sand in my eyes. Oh, we did it. Okay. Ease up. What am I doing? Which way's out? That raging storm cloud on Route 12 forced me to take this detour. There's a raging storm. Alright, we need to head back and heal. There's just no two things about it. Oh. You don't know. Oh no! Great. Alright. Yeah, let's head back, heal. Run through the cave again. For the sake of everyone's patience, we'll just fast forward these encounters. If I can. That's one thing I will say. If I couldn't fast forward in this game, I'm not sure if I would be doing all the challenges, because it just requires like grinding up so many different Pokemon that are not going to be like that's just outside of your core 6 you would, you know, normally keep till you know, the Elite Four. And you know, like there's already like 4 Pokemon in our box that we won't see until we need to fill out the Pokédex. So I'm glad that we can just get the grinding somewhat taken care of with the fast forward feature. That would make this so much more obnoxious to try to grind out all 156 like levels, you know, using these very old, very archaic stats and level ups and experience give outs. Alright, let's get our ass all the way back. I think we were probably at the halfway point if I had to say for that cave, for this cave. I will say this permanent marker, really damn good. It affects me a little bit better than I thought the higher percentage weed we have did. So this feels nice. Definitely a nice head buzz to get me go bad. Let's see. What is that Pokemon? I know it says Slowpoke first time, but that's not Slowpoke, right? God. Do. You know what? Maybe it's Krabby. You know what? It's probably Krabby's. Now that makes so much sense. Now I say that out loud. Krabby's and Kinglers. Outsiders like you need to show me some respect. Who the fuck are you? Let's see. Oh, that's critical. But Lord. Oh god, look at that rock. Rock. To look like 3 rocks on top of some other rocks. It's a very rocky design, if I say so myself. You may even say all the rocks are on the table. You can say whoever designed it was off their rocker. Finally, our little boy knows how to dig. I give. Yeah, that's Krabby or Kingler. Oh, let's check down here. Because this does have an achievement for collecting all the overworld items. Which I'm definitely doing. I'm trying to like master this game. For those of you who may not know what Retro Achievements is, it's a community that puts together achievement sets for old games through RetroArch and keeps track of them through that. And it's just a non-profit community ran thing. Hikers leave twigs as trail markers. And so not only do old games get achievements, but like homebrew games, demos, bootlegs. If you need an example of like how far it goes, I mastered Street Fighter 2 for the TurboGrafx 16. So if Street Fighter 2 has an achievement set, good chances the game you like has an achievement set. Or maybe they're working on one for it. That's also sometimes the case. Seems like they are trying to work on so many different hacks and different games. Like even like Game Boy Advance games, I know in particular don't have achievement sets. Like Power Rangers Ninja Storm. Yeah, that makes sense now to say out loud why it doesn't have an achievement set. But, you know, it's still a game released by THQ. It's just one of those things I know they'll get around to it. It's definitely like a thing. And they do have a system where you can submit a game to get an achievement set first. Or be up for the community to come up an achievement set or something. So, like, if you feel like a game for your childhood that hasn't gotten one should get one, you can, like, essentially, like, say, like, yes, I feel like this game should do this, or get this, some achievement set, I don't know. And they'll do revisions of achievement sets too, in case like the achievements aren't triggering right, or maybe they're just too bland for the first time around. A good example of that would be Pokemon Pinball. That game, like how to like, it's funny because there's a guide to the original achievement set. And it's still perfectly viable for the second or for the revision. But it's just funny how like that game in particular got a revision set. I'm trying to think. And it's like one of the hardest games, like top 300 games to actually try to master in the site. Like, it's a very popular game, but like everyone who plays it kind of just plays it for like 5 minutes until they realize, oh yeah, it's pinball. And you know, you're either with pinball or you're not with pinball. There's no in between. Thankfully, I'm getting somewhat okay at pinball. At Pokemon pinball in particular. I'm learning the ropes of Pokemon pinball. And I'm like 38 achievements in. Or 30% achievements in. Let's see. I think we have one more screen. Haha, can you beat my power? I think we have like one more floor than we're where we need to be. Or near Lavender Town. Lavender Town. Alright. Also, fun story today. Speaking of retro achievements, I messaged someone to a couple days ago because Car Battler Joe, I was just missing one card from completing my like part of my achievement set for that game. And I even totally forgot about it today until now. But I messaged the last person that got the master. No, not the last person. Someone who at least commented, like, asking about, like, a particular item. Because it just seemed like it should be in the game. Finally got a message from them. And they responded with a message from someone else that they got the answer from. And I was just like, great. I'll be sure to pass this message along to the next person who needs the information, because it's one of those things that's just not in guides. Like, it's such a small game and weird game that not many people know, like, document it. So just to like hear like that he found it, but it was only through like messaging someone else like I did. He found it. It's just like goofy. And, you know, one day I'll get that message and I'll just, you know, pass the message along. Like that guy did with me today. And now that I think about it, I'm gonna think about if I actually want to stream out attempts at getting that master in Car Battler Joe on stream or not. Because all it is really just trying to get a tie. And that's nothing too fun, but it's just like a bunch of just restarting and resetting, I imagine. And yeah, just going to be just me and an enemy trying to blow each other up. Oh, we got the poison. Let's go. Oh, fuck. We're dead. We got the poison, but at what cost? Oh yeah, I forgot Gen 1. Yeah, if you don't get poisoned, like, afterwards. Oh, we're so close? Maybe not as close as I thought we were. Fuck it. If we get sent back, that's perfectly okay with me. Because I did not bring any items. Yeah, we're gonna get sent back. Let's go. Eek, don't try anything funny in the dark. As Rue said, like, just getting sent back is just free EXP. Fully paralyzed. Alright. Oh, I should have sent out Tranquil. I just realized that's Metapod's sound after all this time. Oh, god damn it, now I have a poison Pokemon. Oh, you know what? At least it's not the Pokemon that's going to, like, probably carry us to the end of the cave. Alrighty. Yeah. Just beat the shit out of it. I don't think it has any defenses. Okay, it's trying to build up some defenses. Alright. Like, I think we have 4 more battles, Tranquil. If it's too dark, I have Flash. You have Pokemon. Let's start. Bye, Dove. Switch. Get that bug out there. Oh, why did I use Wing Attack? I guess it is a stab. I think Tranquil can't get over like level 49 before Sabrina. So, I mean, we still got a long ways to go before we hit that level cap. Or have to even think about it. God damn it. Oh, don't throw sand while we're asleep. You asshole. Oh. You know what? Yes. Because we got 2 layers of sand in our eyes. Oh, look at that little pup. Look at that little pup. Such a beautiful sprite. Not cursed at all. Cottony, yeah, switch. Back to Alberto. Wing attack. You play hard. I guess. It's a Pokemon battle. It's your life or death, baby. Let's see. Oh boy. Oh yeah, also I just remember we got still get Scraggler if we run into him. Oh yeah. Yeah, let's not fuck with this guy yet. So the legendaries are pretty open. You know, take them on at your own will, I guess. But yeah, you can capture them. But I think I'm super underleveled. Like, I think they're all like actually like leveled up to make sure you're not just stomping over them immediately. Man, 5. Yes. Switch out. I kind of like Swollen getting levels anyway, because we really don't use them anymore. Besides just leveling up. I guess that's good. Just go ahead and get it leveled up. I think it has an evolution. I think it has a 3rd stage. I'm out of Pokemon! What am I ever going to do? Oh, hey. Anything over here? Nope. Dun 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 dun. I don't even know how or why I remember that ether there. Well, doesn't matter because we made it to lab. We made it to town. Yay! And even if you like don't want to play, like they have like this site has achievement sets for the original Pokemon. Red and blue, and also has like a ton of different ones for I'm sorry, let's see, let's get it swollen. We're done. Bye, buddy. Sorry. Oh, got change blocks to get our fucking other Pokemon. Oh, great. This is gonna be fun. We don't need Dweeble. We don't need Timber. Patili, Andoni. We need a couple. We do need bring Pampor. But Leopardy is just so much more versatile at this time. Ah, fuck it. We gotta get Pampor up to level. Pampor is going to evolve into Semipore. Or Simipour, which we need for the Elite Four. I saw Yamask's mother dying, trying to escape from Team Rocket. Oh, wow, kid. People will pay a lot for that one. Oh, wow. Oh, they're using that Pokemon as the Pokemon Rocket's exploiting. Interesting. So yeah, God, we still got a long way to go for some of these guys. All right, let's try to take on some battles real quick and see where we're at least level wise. What's a cute, round, fluffy Pokemon? I don't know. You don't have it. That's all I know. You don't have either one. Oh, never mind. Shit. Forgot about that one. That's a cute, fluffy Pokemon. Oh yeah, just Tranquil. Since Muna. Yes. Good thing there is a grass area that if we really need to just like get these guys trained up more, we could just run them back and forth in the grass area. Honestly, I could do that even on my day, like when I'm not streaming. Just grind out and get rid of some grime in between streams. Wouldn't be too much anyways. Just getting them up to like 22. Acid, thank God. Yes. Poison Sting. Stop! Don't be so mean to Mamuna. Alright. I just wonder if this Pokemon I need Electric Stone for or not. Eh. Let's do an Airbow. I'm a rambling gambling dude. My family doesn't talk to me. Okay, this makes sense of why this guy was kind of weird in the fucking Fire Red Rocket Edition. It's like, what the fuck? Why is he an alcohol? Why is he like addicted to gambling? Why is this his personality trait? Because it is. Ah, get your Fury Swipe out of here. Oh, yes, actually. Because I just gotta get these guys leveled up. And caught up. One way or the other. So switch. Bubble Beam. Yeah, we're gonna have to do it one more time. No worries. We defeated a gambler. Missed the big score. Yeah. Gambling and Pokemon are like eating peanuts. Just can't stop. I'm not sure if I catch your drift, man. I'm not sure if we are on the same level. I'm not sure if I'm picking up what you're putting down. You need a strategy to win at this. Alright. Trubbish. Trubbish is the muck of this gen. Oh, damn it. Got the poison off. And a sludge. Lame. Garbor. You know what? Switch out. Oh, God. Honestly, that sprite looks really good. You know, considering all the other sprites we have seen in this game, that sprite looks really good. Screech, buddy. Screech. Leech Life? Okay, not gonna do shit. And Acid's not gonna do shit. Alright, send out Drill Burr. Drill goes Burr. Drill goes Burr. Dino. Oh. The Ino. Okay. Acid. Throw acid on it. We just couldn't handle the dragon's rage. Actually, that may be a problem if I can't figure out something to do about that. Yeah, Dragon's Rage does 40 damage. So, I gotta think of something. Bubble Beam. Oh, god damn it. Supersonic? Oh, come on, really? Drillbur. Dig. Phew. Yeah, that Dragon's Rage with one-shotted everyone but Drillbur. Alright, let's go heal. Good thing we don't have to get set up for the rival fights or like have a particular team to go in those. Which we'll go in later. Let's see. We're getting people there. This guy just needs 9 more levels. Or well, 7 more levels. And this guy needs 9 more levels too. God damn it. Oh, just gotta get them all trained. You know what? Actually, let's just call it. Because I just remember we got the whole crew of people coming up here that are just like one after another. So, we'll come back Monday. And deal with that. Yeah, I'll probably also get Joltik up at least a couple of levels. And yeah, I guess we take on Rocket next. Which that doesn't have any special conditions either. So, just be using that time to kind of work up our team. Get different mons up, get different evolutions up. Try to get different Pokemon ready for the upcoming gyms. So yeah, we got that. I'm trying to think. I really haven't thought too far ahead. Next month, like at the end of the month, I'll be moving. So I'm kind of focused on that. So we're just kind of going wishy-washy. I think I had a list somewhere. I think I had a list of games, what we were going to do. I'll find that list again. But thank you all so much for hanging out with me tonight or this morning, or wherever you may be. Much, much appreciated. Thank you for checking out Unova Red. You should definitely check it out yourselves. Let's check out retroachievements.org as well. Super cool site if you're into stats and just video game nerd stuff like I am. Let's see. Send. And if you're not already, feel free to join the Discord. And feel free to check out Nephos, the person who made the stream music you're currently listening to. Let's see. Alrighty. Thank you all so much for hanging. Much appreciated. Much love, and yeah, stay safe out there, y'all. Bye.
Nephos.